So what are the type of skin infections? কি কি ইনফেকশন হতে পারে স্কিনে? একটা তো ব্যাকটেরিয়াল হয়ে গেল, আর ফাঙ্গাল ইনফেকশন, ভেরি গুড। And another one? Viral. Okay. Example of viral infections? Herpes simplex. আর কি? Herpes zoster. Herpes simplex টা কোন টাইপ? 1 and 2. HHV, human herpes virus 1 and 2. Herpes simplex virus. And herpes zoster, varicella যেটা, yeah, varicella 3. আর 4 টা কোনটা? HHV 4, Epstein-Barr, yeah. HHV 5, yeah, very good. ঠিক আছে। আর কিছু ভাইরাল ইনফেকশন? Molluscum. Molluscum contagiosum is also viral infection. And an example of fungal infection? Tinea, সবথেকে কমন। Tinea corporis, Tinea cruris, and PV, pityriasis versicolor. Causative agent of PV? কেউ জানিস? Malassezia farfar. Okay, যাই হোক। তো what are the risk factors for infection in skin? কিছু আইডিয়া থেকে বল, সবার কি স্কিন ইনফেকশন হতে পারে? Who are prone to skin infection? Immunocompromised individual like diabetic, cancer patient, HIV patient, who are on chemotherapy, who underwent any surgery. So they are more prone to skin infection. In childhood also, the immunity is very low, so the children are very prone to skin infection. Then another important factor is when the barrier function of the skin is lost, okay? When there is trauma, that area is more prone to skin infection. It's easy for microbes to cause infection there. Okay, slide to change for next slide. হ্যাঁ, তো যেটা সবাই জানি, স্কিন ইজ দ্য লার্জেস্ট অর্গান অফ দ্য বডি। আর ফাংশন অফ স্কিন যেটা জানতেই হবে, কারণ ফাংশন অফ স্কিন যেখানে লস্ট হয়ে যায় সেখানে ইনফেকশন বেশি হয়। তো স্কিনের কাজ কি? টু মেনটেন হোমিওস্ট্যাসিস, প্রোটেক্টস, ব্যারিয়ার ফাংশন যেটা বললাম, প্রোটেকশন অফ আন্ডারলাইং টিস্যুস, অর্গানস, অ্যান্ড প্রোটেক্টস বডি ফ্রম মেকানিক্যাল এনার্জি। যে কোনো মেকানিক্যাল ট্রমা থেকে বডিকে প্রোটেক্ট করে, and damaging substances, any chemical, and we all know UV ray. UV ray থেকে কিভাবে প্রোটেক্ট করে স্কিন? ঠিক বলছিস? Yeah, melanin synthesis. Melanin is actually protective from UV ray. Then next. Type of skin infection যেটা বললাম, bacterial infection, fungal, and viral infection. So today the topic is bacterial infection. So do you have any idea what are the types of bacterial infection? What are the common infection we can see? Bacterial infection. Staph aureus is causative agent, not type of infection. Type of infection. We can divide bacterial infection in superficial and deep. Okay. So before discussing about superficial infection, we have to know the layers of skin. Can anyone tell the layers of skin? Stratum corneum বলতে হবে না, প্রথমে বল layers of skin. Gross, epidermis, dermis, subcutis. Yeah. Then what are the layers of epidermis? কর্নিয়ামের পরেই বেসেল। বেসেল সব থেকে নিচে। Yeah. These are the layers of epidermis. So stratum lucidum, we can't see lucidum everywhere. It's present only in palm and sole because of the thicker skin, okay? Lucidum is not present everywhere. So when mostly the epidermis is involved, that is called superficial bacterial infection. But when the dermis and the subcutis is involved, that are the deep infection, bacterial infection. So example of superficial bacterial infection, anyone can say? Have you heard of impetigo? Yeah, there are two types of impetigo, bullous impetigo and non-bullous impetigo. Yeah, which is also called impetigo contagiosa. Why contagiosa? Non-bullous impetigo? Because wherever the secretion spreads, there new lesion occurs. That's why it's called impetigo contagiosa. Impetigo is superficial infection. Then folliculitis, you all have heard about folliculitis, furuncle, carbuncle, those are all superficial. And have you heard of cellulitis? That is deep bacterial infection. Erysipelas, that is also deep bacterial infection. Okay, next slide. These are the types of bacterial infection: impetigo, cellulitis, folliculitis, carbuncle, and SSSS, Staphylococcus scalded skin syndrome. Okay, next slide. This is a typical picture of, who can say what is it? Yeah, impetigo contagiosa, non-bullous impetigo. How can you say this is impetigo? Because of the typical honey-colored crusting. Okay, whenever you see a patient, very common in children, whenever you see honey-colored crusting, that is always impetigo. This is pathognomic of impetigo. Just by seeing the honey-colored crust, you can say that is impetigo. Okay, next slide. So, the etiology of impetigo, this is a common bacterial infection, I have already said. And when there is open area in the skin, so where there is trauma or breach in the continuity of the skin layer, there the infection occur. And the most common organisms, Staph aureus and group A beta hemolytic streptococcus. And it is most common in children because of their low immunity. And adults may also have it due to poor hygiene, immunocompromised status, or any warm temperature or moist weather. Okay, next. Then the clinical features. In clinical features, I have already said that the honey-colored crust, and you have to know about where impetigo can occur. Basic idea, it will occur on open areas of the body, not the covered parts, okay? Like face, neck, arms and limbs. They are all open areas, so impetigo mostly occur there, but they can be observed in any part of the body. Another important site in children is buttock, okay? So it starts as a small vesicle, fluid-filled lesion. You all know what is vesicle? Primary lesion of skin. What is vesicle and what is bulla? Can anyone say the type of lesions in skin? Macules? You can't say like that. It's like a flat lesion and raised lesion, okay? In flat lesion, macule and patch, yeah. Raised lesion, papule and plaque, okay? These are solid lesion. And when fluid filled, vesicle, bulla, pustule, okay? So it starts with vesicle. Then the lesion ruptures and the fluid drains, leaving areas that are covered with honey-colored crust. I already said that. And they may look different size and different shape. And children may present with swollen lymph nodes. Why that? Because of infection, there may be reactive lymphadenitis. So in impetigo in children, you should examine the regional lymph nodes, whether they are swollen or not. So we can determine the severity of the lesion, the infection. Okay, next. Then diagnosis is mostly clinical. We don't require any diagnostic instrument or anything. Mostly physical examination, complete history. You have to ask the patient that is the child getting infection wherever the secretion is touching or spreading. And they are unique and clearly diagnosable, and culture of lesion can be done to confirm the diagnosis and type of bacteria. Not only in impetigo, any type of bacterial infection, you can send for culture and sensitivity. What sample will you send for culture and sensitivity? Skin scraping is for fungal infection mostly, okay? Skin scraping for, skin scraping in what? In fungal infection? Yeah, in tinea. But what will you do with the skin scraping? Next step? Yeah, KOH mount for fungal infection. Okay, in bacterial infection, we can do culture and sensitivity of the pus. Okay, next. Then management is specific treatment is given, mostly topical antibiotic and oral antibiotic depending on the severity of the lesion. Okay. The child's age, overall health, any particular medical history, extent of the condition, the body surface area involved, and child's tolerance to specific medication, we have to determine the particular treatments to be given. So the child with many lesions, where the lesions are extensive, increased in size, and many areas are involved, we give oral antibiotics along with topical antibiotic. Next. So regular bathing with an antibacterial soap, these are all adjuvant therapy to help decrease the chance of spreading the infection. Proper hand washing is very important in household and very important to help diagnosis the chance of spread of infection. The child's fingers nail should be kept short, okay? And scratching and spreading should be avoided, and the sharing of garments, towels and other household items should be prevented to prevent the spread of infection. These are all important parts to prevent the spreading of infection. Okay, not only giving treatment is enough to treat any infection. You have to counsel the patient very well so that the infection does not spread in one's body and also to other individuals, especially if another child is there in their house. Okay, next slide. Then cellulitis, I already said this is a deep bacterial infection, okay, quite serious. And it also usually involves the face, arms and legs, and it may happen in normal skin. When will it happen in normal skin? In mostly immunocompromised individuals, very common in diabetics, okay. It may occur, and some types of trauma. Trauma is always precipitating factor of any bacterial infection, and this opening can lead to infection. Next. Then the etiology. Mostly, which bacteria causes cellulitis? Yeah, staph also, mostly group A beta hemolytic streptococcus, okay. Streptococcus pneumoniae and staph aureus also. And what will be the feature of cellulitis? What, have you seen any patient of cellulitis yet? So you will see an area of erythematous, deep infection, and it will be very painful. And if you check with your hands or palpate, it will be tender and very warm to touch, okay. How will you differentiate cellulitis and erysipelas? Erysipelas is also a kind of deep bacterial infection, but erysipelas is mostly superficial than cellulitis. Cellulitis is more deeper, okay. So in your knowledge, which will be more distinct to touch, or which will have more sharp border, cellulitis or erysipelas? Which will be diffuse and which will have more distinct border? Yeah, erysipelas will have more distinct border, cellulitis will be more diffuse. Why so? Erysipelas is also red, cellulitis is also red. Both are red, but erysipelas will have more distinct margin, okay? And it will be indurated. To touch, you can feel the induration in erysipelas, because erysipelas is more superficial. It is not going deep in the skin, but cellulitis is more deeper. So whenever you are going deeper, the border will be diffuse. Whenever the lesion is mostly in the epidermis, it will be more distinct to differentiate, and the border will be more distinct. The more deeper, it is not that easy to judge the margin of the infection. So you can differentiate erysipelas and cellulitis by that. Next slide. Then the clinical feature I already said of cellulitis. Swelling will be there, tenderness, the skin will be warm to touch and very much painful. Bruising and blisters may be there, and if it is quite serious infection, there will be fever, chills, weakness and red streaks. So you have to ask the patient, if you are seeing a patient of cellulitis, what will you ask first? About what? Yeah, duration, okay. Then? Yeah, then? about medical history. If he is undergoing any treatment or he is diabetic or any immunosuppressive state he is in, so you have to ask about that. Then about this fever, if he is getting any fever or chills or anything, so you can know, what will you know from that? The severity of infection, okay? So you can determine the treatment from that. If the patient is having quite severe fever or headache or any weakness, you have to determine that you have to go aggressive with the treatment in such patients. Not only oral antibiotic, you have to start IV antibiotics in some cases. If there is underlying immunosuppression or the patient is having any feature of sepsis. Okay, then next. Then obviously very large area of red inflamed skin and fever may be there, and affected area may have numbness and tingling sensation sometimes, and the skin may appear black sometimes, not always, mostly it is reddish, sometimes it may appear black. Then next. Then diagnosis I already said about based on medical history and physical examination. And in case of cellulitis, you can send the blood of the patient, okay? And skin samples may also be taken to confirm the diagnosis and type of bacteria that is present. So, what is the advantage of knowing the type of bacteria? Yeah, proper antibiotics can be given based on the bacteria causing the infection. So, culture and sensitivity is very important. As we know, in these times, resistance to bacteria is very common. So, if you start, you have to start empirical therapy, but you have to wait for proper culture and sensitivity report to start proper antibiotic to limit the infection and to treat the infection. And management, oral antibiotics, and in severe cases, IV antibiotics. Warm, at the site of infection, we have to give warm and wet dressing. Next. Surgical intervention, sometimes we have to drain the pus. In case of abscess or cellulitis, sometimes we need to intervene surgically and elevate the affected part and reduce the activity of the part. The part which is affected, the activity should be limited during the infection period. Then complication, I said complication is very common, mostly in immunosuppressed individuals, mostly meningitis, septic arthritis and glomerulonephritis. In which infection glomerulonephritis will take place? Which organism? Yeah, Streptococcus, right. PSG and post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis, very common after cellulitis with Streptococcus. Then folliculitis, with folliculitis. So the name suggests it is the infection of hair follicles. Yeah, it is the infection of hair follicle. And it is also characterized by tender swollen areas. You have to examine, whenever you see a pustule in someone's skin, you have to examine that the pustule is arising from hair follicle or not. So when you are seeing a pustule around the hair follicle, often on the neck, breast, buttock, face, and also very common in legs, okay? So you may think of folliculitis, and it is also mostly common in immunosuppressed individual and diabetics. So can anyone say the structure of hair follicle? Anyone have any idea about hair follicle structure? What do we call the structure of hair follicle, sebaceous gland? One unit we call it particularly. Yeah, someone is saying it. কে বলছিস বল, ভয় পাওয়ার কিছু নেই. Yeah, pilosebaceous unit, right. Pilo means hair follicle, and one sebaceous gland is always attached with hair follicle. So the unit is called pilosebaceous unit. So when there is infection of this pilosebaceous unit or hair follicle, we call it folliculitis, okay. Then carbuncles, they are actually clusters of boils and usually found in the back of the neck or thigh. Clinical features, common with folliculitis, but when we see cluster of boils in cluster, we say it is a carbuncle. And symptoms may vary in child to child. It is mostly common in child and in old age individuals with diabetes or immunosuppressive states. And symptoms, I already said, any pustule. Okay, pus in the hair follicle. Pustule, you already have idea about pustule. It is a primary lesion of skin, and there may be inflamed inflamed follicles and damaged hair. And the symptoms, there is pus and always whitish or bloody discharge from that lesion. And the symptoms of carbuncles, there is always pus in the center, and there may be fever and fatigue. In carbuncle, as there are many lesions, এই যারা হাসছিস তারা বাইরে গিয়ে হাসতে পারিস। And how we can diagnose folliculitis and carbuncle? অনেকে তো ফোন নিয়েও বসে আছিস, যাদের ফোন ইউজ করার ইচ্ছা পিছনের মেয়েগুলো, তারা বাইরে গিয়ে ফোন ইউজ করতে পারিস, অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স দিয়ে যেতে পারিস, এখানে বসে ইউজ করার দরকার নেই, ঠিক আছে? অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সের জন্য এসেছিস যারা, অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স দিয়ে বেরিয়ে যেতে পারিস। অ্যান্ড ডায়াগনোসিস মোস্টলি থ্রু ফিজিক্যাল এক্সামিনেশন। By seeing only the lesion, you can diagnose any pyoderma or bacterial infection. Okay, and culture of the wound. Culture sensitivity of the wound discharge or the pus we can do. Okay, and then management, topical or oral or systemic antibiotics, seeing on the severity of the lesion and the underlying condition. So we always have to give topical with oral in case of severe infection. And for carbuncles and boils, warm compression therapy can be given, and possible removal of boils and carbuncles can be done in mostly in cases of resistant cases, those which are not responding to any antibiotics. সেটা তো ইনফ্লামেশন, এটা তো ব্যাকটেরিয়াল ইনফেকশন, টেম্পারেচার ইজ রিকোয়ার্ড to treat the infection. Actually, wet dressing is done in case of dry wound, okay, to keep the wound wet. And in case of wet dressing, we have to give dry dressing. Actually, উল্টোটা করতে হয়, যেটা থাকে তার উল্টো ড্রেসিংটা করতে হয়, ঠিক আছে? না, জেনারেলি আমরা দিই না, ঠিক আছে? আমরা ইনফেকশন থাকলে দিই না জেনারেলি। কোল্ডে কিছু কাজ হয় না, মোস্টলি ওয়ার্ম কম্প্রেশন হেল্পস ইন ইনফেকশন বিকজ অফ দ্য টেম্পারেচার. It kills the bacteria that is causing the infection. Okay.